Things, Season 5, Episode 27, broadcasting now just a moment after, about 15 minutes after Boris Johnson, was it 15 minutes? About half an hour after Boris Johnson finished his speech, which was a collection of non sequiturs, bad jokes, kind of weird xenophobic stuff, easy insults against Keir Starmer, one of them, one of the most boring men in Britain. And, just a general embarrassment, making this cursed island more of a public embarrassment. So do expect a proper dissection of that in tomorrow's newsletter, which will be covering the coverage of the speech. But in the meantime, welcome to the show. Today we've got a 4-paper show. The Eye is part of today's show, so the Eye will be the speed round today, and then we've got the Sun Times and the Daily Mail, frankly because they're the classics that we need to be covering ahead of the Tory party conference. I apologise to Paddy Pimlet for the picture in the back. You didn't know the Eye still existed? Yeah, the Eye still exists. The Independent doesn't publish in print, but the Eye does, and they are separate entities now. Hello, Kenny92. How are you? Say hello, everybody. I don't know who else is here yet. Let's check the chat. Ehud Barak is here. Phytopayer is here. Chronotherm is here, and Kenny92 is here. Well, thank you all for joining me. I know more people will emerge soon. So yeah, we're gonna go Sun, Eye for the speed round, then the Daily Mail. Then the Times and the Daily Mail. Yes, hello, greetings and salutations. I'm all right. I just had to watch 45 minutes of Boris Johnson speaking, and that has put me in a astoundingly bad mood. So. Sure, that'll go well today. Right, let's start with the Sun. Sun has got basically a rehash story about the French blocking and taking some AstraZeneca jabs during the height of the crisis. This dripped to Britain's premier cock, Harry Cole, for a story that they're headlining. Not tonight, Bo Josephine, or Pauling. Anyway, just a nice bit of tub thumping. Nice, I say. Horrible bit of tub thumping xenophobia ahead of the conference, final day of the conference today. Elsewhere on the page, Adele is releasing a new song soon. The clip that she released only featured music, no singing. And under the masthead, you've got a story about, as a feature on David Beckham reliving his wonder goal that saved England. Whoopee and indeed do. Right, moving on. Inside the paper, on page 3, that isn't page 3, but is page 3, it's Shakira wearing a swimsuit, because whatever. Also on that page, United's match of the day, grounds a spud farm. Manchester United's training ground faces a major uprooting if war ever breaks out, as it will be turned into a potato farm. The club agreed to a bizarre set of legal conditions before they could move to their Swish complex at Carrington, where future generations of stars have been unearthed since 2000. But homegrown quality of very different kind will be produced to their training pitches. If the Premier League is ever suspended due to warfare, they could follow in the footsteps of current United potato legends like Marcus Rashford, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka Spuds. Part of the restrictions were, in the event of war, we had to turn the ground into potato fields. Harry Cole, come out ye cockhole.jpg, indeed. Pages 4 and 5 get coverage for that story. Taking the Wii. Fury at French jabs heist. Theft like an act of war. Could have cost Brit lives. They really want a war with. France. That's what they really, really want. I'm back is the headline on the fact that Adele has got a new single coming out, literally just because they've got a picture of her eyes. That's it. Pretty Orders Met Killer Cop probe. She used announcing that investigation as an applause line in her speech yesterday, because she is a complete piece of shit. Hello, use weapons, by the way. On page 9, science has finally confirmed that women feel the cold more than men. We knew this for a long time. PM blast at ex-PMs. That's in the speech today. He talked about dither and delay for the past few decades, which was mostly covered by Tory administrations. But whatever, they're still having a go at Nick Robinson. If you want to know about the Nick Robinson thing, I come not to praise Nick Robinson, but to bury him. Do check out today's newsletter, and I'd massively appreciate it if you can tweet that newsletter, because I want the numbers up on that. I think it's actually quite a good one. Use of French to be honest. A war with the French to be funny. Two failing, deranged, right-wing, declining imperial powers just blowing each other up. Yeah, pretty much. Priti Patel reckons she's going to get the military to fix the border. Chinny wreck on. Kylie might be going back to Australia because Britain is shit. Can't blame her, really. Jane Moore says, how will findings of this police sex inquiry be different to the other two? Probably not at all, but you contributed to this police force and this government, Jane, so go fuck yourself. On pages 16 and 17, have Kim and Kanye consciously recoupled. They put K's in both of those words. The news story is maybe that Kim and Kanye aren't getting divorced. Who cares? Honestly, who cares other than them? On page 19, an absolute classic of the racist, xenophobic, scaremongering Sun canon. Dover, 1K of pizzas a day. They claim that the Domino's pizza outlet in Dover is selling £1,000 of worth of pizza a day on average, extra because the border force is ordering pizzas to feed to migrants. And of course you get the detail in there about how most of the pizzas are cheese and tomato or vegetarian too, and I quote, satisfy Muslim migrants' dietary requirements. Just dog whistle shit upon dog whistle shit. And I bet you, if I look into the detail of this, if I, for instance, called up Domino's, I bet I'd find that this is entirely made up. Hey, Slinkamaya, how you doing? Foreigners eating our traditional Dominoes, send them back, says use of weapons. On page 21, Tyrannosaurus Rex, dinosaur ancestor the size of a chicken, rampaged around Wales 215 million years ago. We stand the dino chicken. A mother says she's forced to pull out 11 of her rotting teeth because she cannot find an NHS dentist. But everything's fine, Boris Johnson tells us today. Carol Warderman says, my beautiful boy succeeded against the odds. With your help, other kids with disabilities will too. Well, good on her and him, but not for being in the sun. On pages 28 and 29, Savile got away with evil abuse by acting like a terrorist. Cells kept apart, moved around UK is the claim. Let's have a look back through the archives of The Sun and see what it wrote about Jimmy Savile before he was revealed as a absolutely vast sex abuser. Kid United 2, I would hate if they just eat proper British food like a meat feast, madness, bacon stuffed crust. Yeah, what, coming over here, eating these vegetarian pizzas. C122H122, it's my birthday. I'm struggling to get a SIM card in my new phone. It's a pain. Well, happy birthday to you, C122H122. I'm sorry that you're spending part of your birthday watching the stream, but it is much appreciated. Murder Island is a TV review. They like that. And tonight's TV recommendations are Brassic on Sky Max, 10 p.m. Catching a Predator, BBC 2, 9 p.m. Iceland with Alexander Armstrong on Channel 5, 9 p.m. And Billy and Greg, The Family Diaries, ITV-B, 9 p.m. You love this stream. Well, thank you, C122H122. That's really nice. And Fab Daily, meet the grandma who's caught out 150 love cheats in a year. She's a private detective. I don't feel any remorse. Married men are there for the taking, says Gwyneth Lee, 49, from West London, who is a serial mistress and proud of it. I bet you she ends up getting a column. £50 letter today comes from Sean Spillane in Folkestone. He appears in that slot quite often, actually. The admission by Insulate Britain founder Roger Allen that he would block an ambulance carrying a dying patient was frightening. But more chilling is the behaviour of the imbecilic pensioners who blocked a woman from following her 81-year-old mother to hospital. What standards are they setting for their grandchildren? This protesting is an accident waiting to happen. When one of the protesters is lying injured on the ground, they will need an ambulance to get through. Oh, happy belated birthday to you, Kinyu92, or happy forthcoming birthday, whichever way that works. Today, they're trying to sell you fleece-lined trousers, which are water-resistant. Available in khaki or navy, khaki, navy, black or charcoal. Ugly as fuck. They're trying to sell you one of those easy-to-use flip phones. I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's just if you read The Sun, you probably need a phone like that. And in the sport, redemption. This was the moment England forgave me. David Beckham says his iconic free kick against Greece was the moment England fans forgave him. That's 20 years ago today. And gotta go to Etihad. City legend, I'll help land Haaland. Manchester City cult hero Sean Gota is offering to help bring Erling Haaland to the Etihad. Gota, dubbed the GOAT by City fans, played with Erling's dad Alf Inge Haaland at the club. As the battle hots up for Borussia Dortmund's superstar striker, he said, if they need me to talk to Alf, I'll do what I can. There you go. Who buys clothing from bad newspapers? Old people. Right, minus 69, minus 69, minus 69 from me. It's the triple negative. Nice. Right. Yes, give me your scores. Haaland isn't going to City, says use of weapons. I don't think he's going to City. Oh, Kinyu92 Saturday, so no birthday paper stream for you. Well, Monday. We'll dedicate the Monday stream to you. Right. Time for a speed round with the newspaper, not one we generally do. So that's interesting, isn't it? Kinyu comes in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. It's the Deca negative nice. Slinkmeyer in with a quadruple negative nice. And Red Tick Seed in also with quadruple negative nice. Use of weapons rates the Sun minus the amount of coke being consumed at the Tory conference. And not just that which is being consumed by Michael Gove. Obviously, for legal reasons, I have to say that Michael Gove, while he has admitted previously taking to cocaine, no longer takes cocaine and has made that abundantly clear. Newspaper, let's go. I reckon what? Let's see. I reckon I could do this in 2 minutes flat. 2 minutes flat for the eye. And the time starts now. Okay, front page of the Eye. They have put their immense profits before people. That's what the Facebook whistleblower says. Bernadine Evaristo is in there with an extract from her new book talking about domestic violence. Who's a clever boy then? Dog geniuses learn 12 words a week. Love the dog geniuses. Welcome to Thought Crime. Priya Patel's revenge on Insulate Britain. Protesters become an attack on our democratic rights, says Ian Dunt. And the main story is COVID vaccine mandatory for frontline NHS workers in Javid plan. They claim that as an exclusive. Inside the paper, Dave Dinger Bell, transatlantic rower, is profiled. God, really hard to turn the pages. Insulate Britain will risk jail to get our demands met. Right, well, I think that's like, yeah. I can't get the pages to open. Jab will have no hiding place if you can't fix the NHS, says Paul Ward. Jesus. SA mills that provide illegal answers for cash will be made illegal. US friendship not exclusive, says Liz Truss. Well, that's lucky because they couldn't give a shit. Ian Dunn complaining about democratic rights. I know, imagine. Facebook accused by whistleblower over teen addicts. There's been the first look at the House of the Dragon, which is a new Game of Thrones thing. Patella's taking away the right to protest, says Ian Dunn. Yeah, well, think about how you contributed to that happening. Green's wife brought up property as BHS fell. Yeah, they're incredibly corrupt. Sophie Corcoran says Tories have abandoned young voters. They never gave a shit about young voters in the first place. Can't abandon them if you don't give a shit. Pacquiao turns the race to be president into an ugly fight. He's being homophobic, which will go down very well in the Philippines, probably. iMoney, finance fears force bereaved staff back to work too soon. How to put your money to work for the best. Loads of puzzles. Extract from Bernardine Evaristo's book. Last night's television, they rate Dementia Me and Murder Island. And in the sport, Ericsson devastated over Riley allegations. So that is the Eye. It's an annoying paper. I don't know. Way more comment than the other papers. Design is irritating. Is it worth the money? Well, it's 65p. I mean, it's a better read. You get more for your money than others. But for me, quadruple, no, nay, centuple negative nice. Minus 69, 69, 69, 69, 69. Yeah. No, the Eye is not the one they give out on the buses. Heathmore 2401 is correct. That's the Metro. The Eye isn't it didn't used to be the Independent. What happened was the Independent created the Eye, which was like this slightly cheaper version of the paper that drew from all of these other places. The Eye is now its own independent newspaper, and the Independent itself is not published in print. Kinny92 says, minus only good for the crosswords. Slinkermeyer in with quadruple negative nice. Red Tick Cedar Classic standard negative nice. Okay. Let us do the Times. And I'll do a roll call before that. Do remember to spend your Herzogs. They are down at the bottom of the chat window. If you press on the little Herzog head, you can spend your Herzogs on stuff. Hey Dick Pendrin, how you doing? Good to see you. Nice to see you. Let's do the roll call where I will notice that you're here. Right, it's a small audience today, but a good audience nonetheless. I am the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy. Also on TikTok at Useless Conquest. Going to be doing some more TikToks soon. I promise this all the time, but it will happen. C122 H122 is in the chat. Crawfish is here. Dick Pendrin, good to see you. Fighter Pair is here. Heathmore 2401, thank you for contributions to the chat today. Hello to Kinyu92. Hello also to Chronotherm. My Door is Never. Ratiology. Red Tick Seed. Slinkermeyer. Use of Weapons. And Xylane. All appreciated here in the chat. Thank you for being here. And the Research Arena is here. Hello. Hello everyone, you're all lovely, says Dick Pendrin, redeeming highlight my message. And Use of Weapons says, Boris Johnson announced dogging to be protected cultural activity in conference speech. I missed that bit. I wouldn't be surprised though. Right, okay, here we go with the Times. Front page of the Times. Miniskirts are back. It feels like every 6 months there's an article where the article about miniskirts being back is back. On the right-hand side of the page, Carol Midley says, Darling, I'm too tired for an open marriage. Is that right? Returning holidaymakers face filming their own COVID test. Great. More surveillance state. Woo! Surveillance state. Yeah! Main story. PM to reveal minimum wage rise in a few weeks. Well, he did not do that in his speech. Main picture is Carrie Johnson, who did a speech about how Boris Johnson really loves gay people and LGBT people in general, and you can trust him, even though he has repeatedly written homophobic things, both in newspaper columns and in his execrable novel. And on the right-hand side of the page, empty nest ordeal, even harder after lockdowns. This purports to be research, but who is the research done? Well, it's done by Unite, a private provider of purpose-built student accommodation. Do we think that research is dodgy as fuck? Well, I do. Inside the paper, celebrities photographed with their dogs. Martin Clunes with his Cocker Spaniel Bob. Imelda Staunton and Jim Carter with their rescue dog Molly, and Dion Doblin, the former footballer, with his bull mastiff Maggie. We are pro all of these dogs. How do you film your own PCR test? So swab the nose makes me sneeze every time. Just going to be a shaky cam video of me sneezing. I think it's going to be lateral flows, but nonetheless. Who's a clever dog then? They say collies are clever. There's a lot of dodgy intelligence research around dogs. It's actually kind of suspect. We are very much a pro dog stream. They mean lateral flow. Boots trains pharmacists with GP-style appointments. More reduction of the, more overstretching of pharmacists. It's bad enough already. Floods hit Diana designer as storms sweep Britain. Red 60, yeah, miniskirts are back. Whatever. Important question is, when will foot binding be back? Jesus. Quentin Letts is awful. He says, pretty stare is worse than a piranha in your trunks. I wish someone would throw Quentin Letts in piranhas. Not even in Minecraft, just reality. Met Chief feels heat as Patel sets up inquiry into police failings. Yeah, alright. I can't fix everything for you, PM tells bosses. You can't fix fucking anything. Javid urges families to care more for the elderly. Fuck off. Carries tears for LGBT people still facing abuse. Crocodile tears. Back British pork plead farmers as crisis grows. A little dinner, a triple with dinner is fine after all. I feel like we hear these stories about wine and research about wine all the time. I wish Boris would be fixed as C122, H122. Yes, no more Boris children. Nurse told to remove cross while patient was on table. Oh, shut up. Get off your pelotons and back to the office. Civil servants told by Oliver Dowden doing a classic, just poof. There's a dead cat. Portugal nears full vaccination. Green's wife brought a string of luxury homes as BHS collapsed. I mean, I think we knew this was happening anyway. Cut Facebook down to size, says EU. It should be broken up. Will it be? Doubt it. Rising ocean temperature wipes out 14% of coral reefs in a decade, is the claim. Welsh dragon was the first British meat eater. Squid's off, or we risk a calamari calamity, diners told. Diners should avoid calamari made from UK caught squid because the species could collapse. Okay, well, let's do that then. Marines chief hit hard by Afghan exit. This is another story about Major General Matthew Holmes, who was found dead on Saturday. Suspected that he took his own life. Poorly reported again by the Times. There is no newspaper in Britain, seemingly, that can report people taking their own lives in a responsible and adequate way. Slinkmire, stop improving your health and get back to stagnating on public transport for half your weekday free time. Yeah. I wonder if wine drinking correlates with anything else, like wealth that might improve your health. Yeah, funny that, isn't it? Use weapons. Here in Romania, teachers get PCR'd every week, which just makes my nose hurt more than goes after a night out. Troops check on refugees living in hotels. The military's been called in to collect data on Afghan refugees living in hotels amid claims that the Home Office has lost control of numbers. Oh, Jesus Christ. Have these people not suffered enough? We bumped into Stephen Fry and it was excruciating, says Ed Balls. Ed Balls revealed details of excruciating encounter on the French Riviera between Gordon Brown and Stephen Fry after the writer famously fled a West End theatre production. Balls have been given the task of ensuring that Brown, then the Shadow Chancellor, took a proper holiday and they went to the Mediterranean with Brown and his girlfriend, the journalist Sheena MacDonald. Balls told the Henley Literary Festival that during the holiday in 1995, MacDonald had been keen to visit the renowned Hotel de Cap Eden Rock in Antibes, so the three of them with Balls playing gooseberry dropped in for lunch. Unfortunately, Balls said, hotels accepting cash only and they had just enough francs to buy a coffee each and an omelette between them. Suddenly there was this hello, and coming towards us was Emma Thompson and Stephen Fry, both with entirely blonde hair, Balls told the festival. Fry had sought shelter on the Riviera after quitting Cellmates after 3 days into its run in the West End. Apparently, after one critical review of his performance, it was more complicated than that. As the play's producers and journalists attempted to track him down, Fry had enlisted Thompson, and two of them had dyed their hair in an attempt to evade detection. Balls told the festival it was a time Stephen Fry had escaped London, but not sufficiently in hiding not to say hello to us, so they came bounding over as they came towards us. Gordon says, Christ, we've got no money. It's a Shadow Chancellor sitting on a table with an omelette and 3 forks, and we can't say to them, would you like to join us? The only thing we could have done is ask for 2 new forks, which would have been really, really bad. So we had this very awkward conversation, and I think they got the message we couldn't have lunch together, and off they went. Balls54 said he had not put the incident in his new book, Appetite, because it was excruciating. Had he ever met Fry again? I have, but never mentioned it. To be honest, I don't think he would want to be reminded of the hair. Paddy Smith at the Royal Albert Hall gets reviewed. It's 4 stars. Ed Balls is excruciating, says Slinkermeyer. Stephen Fry seems like a bit of a prick, to be honest, says Use of Weapons. Daniel Finkelstein says, high wages are fine, but how do we pay for them? Fuck you. Roger Boys, the unfortunately named Roger Boys, says Eastern Mediterranean tensions are coming to boil. Matthew Paris is awful for various reasons. Alice Thompson says inmates need better work than the chain gang. Yeah, no shit. How about we treat inmates with respect? Heathmore 2401, my mum's partner sat next to Ed Balls for a coach journey once because she worked for his dad. Apparently he said he wanted to be Britain's youngest chancellor. Yeah, he did, and he said that subsequently. In the corrections and clarifications, photograph of the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace showed a member of the Scots Guards, not the Coldstream Guards, as we wrongly said. Birthdays today. Penny Juror, the writer, 72. Lord Melvin Bragg is 82. Les Brotherston, production designer and Tony and Olivier Award winner, is 60. Bill Burford, the editor and writer, is 67. Richard Cabourn, the Labour MP until 2010 and sports minister till 2007, is 78. Mario Capecchi, the molecular geneticist, is 84. He's a Nobel Prize winner in 2007. Dame Bobby Chima Grubb, the High Court judge, is 55. Major General Patrick Cordingley, 77. Gareth Davies, Comptroller and Auditor General, head of the National Audit Office, is 66. Lord Bob Edmiston, the chairman of IM Group, is 75. Britt Eklund, the actress, is 79. Arden Gemley, sprinter, captain of Great Britain's athletics team in 2016, is 28. Prof. Huon Gray, National Clinical Director for Heart Disease, NHS England until 2019, 67. Ewan Grufford, the actor, is 48. Sir Michael Hardy Boys, Governor General of New Zealand till 2001, is 90. Ricky Hatton, the former boxer, 43. Ian Livingston, QPM, Chief Constable of Police Scotland, 55. David Morgan, President of Marylebone Cricket Club until 2015, International Cricket Council till 2010, is 84. Niall Quinn, the footballer for Republic of Ireland and Manchester City, is 55. Admiral Sir Derek Reffel, Flag Officer of the 3rd Flotilla in charge of the amphibious ships and aircraft carriers during the Falklands conflict, is 93. Elizabeth Shue, the actress, 58. Lieutenant General James Swift, Chief of Defence People, Ministry of Defence, is 54. Geraldine Van Buren, the QC Professor Emerita of International Human Rights Law at Queen Mary University of London, is 66. In 1981, Anwar Sadat, President of Egypt since 1970, was assassinated by rebel soldiers during a military parade in Cairo. And the last word in this column goes to Jose Ortega y Gasset, a Spanish writer and philosopher, who said in his Meditations de Quixote, I am I plus my surroundings, and if I do not preserve the latter, I do not preserve myself. Governor General of New Zealand / child mystery solver. Wages are paid out of business gross profit. This is like year 9 business studies. This isn't hard. Daniel Finkelstein admitting capitalism cannot sustain growth necessary for good living conditions. Yes, pretty much. Right, moving on. In the world news, Biden backtracks on 3.5 trillion plan to build back better. Fuck off with this build back better shit. One of the orc masks in Lord of the Rings was made to look like Harvey Weinstein. Thank you for redeeming Hydrate, much appreciated. War over Taiwan could start at any time, Beijing warned. Well, that's good to know. Use of weapons. Assassinated by the CIA. Well, yes. I tortured Uyghurs, admits Chinese whistleblower. Jesus Christ. French church shamed over 300,000 child abuse victims. In shock news, the Catholic Church world over, a criminal enterprise, found once again to be accepting, justifying, hiding, and enabling the mass abuse of children. The Catholic Church is a criminal enterprise. Use of weapons, Chris Morris voice. It's war. Far-right pundit keeps fans guessing about Elysee run. That's Eric Zemmour in France. Fuck him. Bavarian Berry still unsafe after Chernobyl. Strike threatens to halt action in Hollywood. Nearly all film and television production grinds to a standstill if the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees goes on strike. And 99% of registered members had supported industrial action. It's trying to get a new contract from studios that basically gets better payment and fairer shifts, particularly as people aren't paid as much for work on streaming services because studios still pretend that streaming services are new and might not make that much money. Lots of industrial action happening right now, which is good. Use of weapons. Oh no, not Marvel movie being delayed. I love Marvel movie. Looks like Greg's will double its revenues. C122, X122 said, did you know Catholic Church invested in Plan B? Trying to sell you cashmere jumpers. And in the obituaries, Alan Garner, pioneering ethnologist who in the late 1960s became the first human to have a conversation with a chimpanzee using sign language. Also in the obituaries, Perry Pontac, playwright who won plaudits from actors and fellow writers alike for his radio dramas and talent for parodying Shakespeare. Lippmann directed his ingenious play about Handel and Hendrix. Lars Vilks, controversial Swedish artist whose depiction of the Prophet Muhammad with a dog's body sparked death threats from Al-Qaeda. He died in a traffic accident on October 3rd, 2021. With police officers who were apparently protecting him. Also trying to sell you in this paper, as they were in the Sun, the easy-to-use phone. The phone for seniors. So clearly this is an American company. Britain's best value, though. I think it's not just that you're old. If you're reading the Times, you might need a simple phone. Still trying to sell you fruit trees. Holly trees, actually, today. Sigma, chimps doing sign language has been debunked. It's a bullshit study. Whenever the Catholic Church comes up, I immediately get Tim mentions Pope. Tim mentions Pope song stuck in my head. You're going to get DCMA'd for that humming, by the way. I don't think I will, because I don't think it's accurately enough close to that, close to the tune. And on the back pages, Ashes Tour likely to get green light route. Ready to lead strong squad to Australia. Raducanu's next step. She's eager to play, but in no hurry to appoint coach. United lagging on jab numbers and virtual reality heading plan. Footballers might be able to practice heading in training using virtual reality goggles, really. Defund Sting. Defund Andy Copeland. Yes. Fuck the police. What if one day Mick comes on stream kitted out with all the shite they advertise in the papers? If I had the money, I might do it as a joke. Abolish the CIA, Stuart Copeland. Yes. Okay. Right. Yes, Stuart Copeland rather than Andy Copeland, yeah. Triple negative nice from Red Tick Seed for the Times. Everyone else give me your scores. We're going to move on to the Daily Mail now, our final paper of the day. Do remember to check out the newsletter. If you can help me out today, it especially will help me out today if you retweet or tweet the newsletter, today's newsletter. I think it's a good one. It went out a bad day. Copeland Copeland out of the police. His dad was a major. Yes, he was a major figure in the CIA. That is true. Oh God, what am I doing? I wrote the same thing twice. Sorry, I'm really fucking tired. Boom. There we go. I'm all over the place as well, Dick Pendrin. So, solidarity, my friend. Solidarity. Red Tick Seed was a triple negative nice for the Times. Quadruple negative nice from Slinkermeyer. And a sextuple negative nice from use of weapons. Right. Front page of the Daily Mail, top of the shop. Soaring prices, tax hikes, but don't panic! How to survive the big squeeze. One day you remember that command first time. I have. Some days I've remembered it first time. Watch as I remember the other command, the paper fund command first time. Boom. French threat to sink Christmas. They warn of Calais blockade in fishing storm as families start stockpiling. But don't panic, says the Daily Mail, desperately wanting you to panic because it loves to report on panic. On the right-hand side, more Carrie Johnson. Not elected by anyone and had to step down from her job at Conservative Party prior to this for redacted. Tax rise for the poor, not rich. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Page 3. Well, hello, it's the first new song from Adele in 6 years, and I swear to God, the Daily Mail has done like a fucking photo story of screenshots from the video, but tiny. Dick Pendrin, wow, such tech mastery. Come on. Christmas in crisis, 600 pigs cold and 120,000 may follow. Fuck me. Boris's Maggie moment, echoing the Thatcherite mantra. PM declares there's no alternative on shortages crisis. Oh, fuck off. Javid vows to tear up red tape. Fuck off as well. Pretty orders probe into Met Everard failures. That can also fuck off. And Henry Deeds, showing how uncreative sketch writers are, also talks about fucking piranhas as the execrable Quentin Letts did. Fury at BBC's clash with PM. This is why you need to read the newsletter. That is what I'm writing about today. What I wrote about today was Nick Robinson, the Nick Robinson interview. There you go, first time. Use that command first time. Do please share the newsletter today. Read it, share it, help me out. It went out slightly later today, and I want to make sure it gets out to the furthest number of people. It really does help me go. John Humphreys claims he would have never dared to speak to a prime minister like that, which is absolute arse, complete bullshit. Use weapons. We'll read the newsletter while he's teaching later. Skills. Yes, thank you, Slingermeyer. I choose to ignore the sarcasm. Philip Green's wife splashed out on a string of lavish homes. Yeah, we live in a corrupt country, and nothing will happen to him. Remember, of course, he's also still Sir Philip Green, and the Conservative Party's co-chairman owned an offshore company that indirectly benefited from UK tax release, leaked documents reveal. It's Ben Elliott, another person who scandals don't seem to affect. Kate Middleton went out wearing a £16 dress, which apparently is whatever. Who gives a shit? Wisteria hysteria over colonial roots. It is one of Britain's best-loved plants, adorning many of the front porch, but wisteria is a symbol of oppression and colonial conquest, a sightseeing guide claims. Oh, God, maybe it is. Fuck off. Sarah Vine is awful. She turns up in the newsletter today. If you want to know why it's in there, it's mainly something to do with Billie Eilish, which I can't be able to get into now. More on the nurse and the cross. Tom Leonard says, what would we do without the internet? We'd probably be up shit creek, wouldn't it? On page 23, Phoebe Divenor from Bridgerton said the sudden new fame made her anxious. That's from an interview with Harper's Bazaar. More from Joan Collins' diary. She fancied Bill Clinton when she met him. And on this day, October 6th, 2021, from the Daily Mail archive, October 6th, 1936. 200 men, the marchers from Jarrow-on-Tyne, arrived in Chester Street tonight on the first stage of the journey which in 3 weeks will bring them to London. The marchers are bringing a petition signed by 12,000 people. In 1936, 200 men began the Jarrow Crusade as a protest against unemployment and poverty. We could do more. Should have more of that now. October 6th, 1962. The government is to arm itself soon with the power to stamp out cruelty to children in their own homes. Children exposed to brutality or neglect by parents will be taken from their homes and looked after before the case is taken to court. A tough warning to the parents is likely to be given before this is done. Happy birthday to Brett Eklund, who's 79, and to Jerry Adams, who is 73. Also born on this day in 1914, Joan Littlewood and the London-born theatre director, and Carol Lombard, born 1908, the American actress born Jane Alice Peters, starred in My Man Godfrey and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Lombard was praised as the best-dressed woman in Hollywood. She died in a plane crash, aged 33, while on a tour selling war bonds following Japan's bombing of Pearl Harbor in 1941. On October 6th in 1982, Madonna released her first single, Everybody. It failed to appear on the US or UK charts, and she was never heard of again. In 2010, Instagram launched on this day. Quote of the day, Clinton Fadiman, the US intellectual, said, a bottle of wine begs to be shared. I've never met a miserly wine lover. Bullshit. Joke of the day comes from... Joke of the day doesn't come from anyone, it just comes from them. Joke of the day. I was reading a great book about an immortal dog the other day. It was impossible to put down. Use of weapons. Daily Mail. Everyone on the Jarrow Crusade should be transported to Australia and other climes until workers know their place. Yeah, pretty much. I could see them saying that, yeah. More on the dog stuff. We love dogs. In the Money Mail, how to survive the big squeeze. I don't know, have a different government. Eat the rich. Fabulous family feasts. Things they recommend, recipes for. Sausage and bean casserole sounds fine. Cheese and onion pie looks fine. Cauliflower risotto looks frankly disgusting. Tomato and mozzarella chicken bake. Christopher Stevens gives Murder Island 3 stars and our Yorkshire Farm 5 stars. Pick of the day is Iceland with Alexander Armstrong. No thanks. And they're trying to sell you a British shopping trolley. It's a sholly, but it's British. Red 60, lots of Doug stuff. Did a certain lord have a hand in today's mail? Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if Lord Austin writes under an assumed name in the Daily Mail. Right, in the cartoons, Garfield is talking to the dog. In Chloe and Co, no appearance by Chloe, but the two men are talking. One says to the other, oh, by the way, they're sat down and drinking. One says to the other, my girlfriend is on holiday on the west coast of England. The second man says, Goa, and the first one says, that's what they say, but I trust her. In Fred Bassett and the cat are playing football. Fred Bassett goes off to get a smaller ball so that the cat has a better time. That is a cursed trolley, absolutely cursed trolley. They're trying to sell you flowers. The poem today is awful, so here we go, get ready. It's called Insomnia, and it's by Pat Patterson of Little Eton. I would love to get lost in a dreamland. I don't have a lot on my mind. When snuggled deep down in my bed is sleep such a challenge to find? Why then, when snuggled deep down in my bed is sleep such a challenge to find? I go to bed at a reasonable hour just after the 10 o'clock news, all up to date with current affairs and confusing political views. There's nothing at all I can do about that. Whatever it is, we'll keep. I'll sort it out in the morning, but now all I need is some sleep. It's 2 hours later, I'm still wide awake. Likewise, at 3:30, I have to do something about it, so I get up and make a cup of tea. There's nothing quite like a nice cup of tea for setting the world back to rights, but it doesn't do nuts for insomnia or to remedy my sleepless nights. So I put on some nice soothing music and sort out my plans for the week. We'll settle down under the covers again, surely I'll drift off to sleep. They say it's just mind over matter. You must banish all thoughts from your mind. You'll gently drift into a slumber, just leaving your cares all behind. But thoughts are not to be banished. They come if you like it or not. Powers of the subconscious mind too constant for you to switch off. So back to the old-fashioned method of counting hundreds of sheep, then at first light of morning, finally falling asleep. Oh, God. Dick Pendrin, I used to work in a local history library and read a tourist guide to London that told visitors that sitting down at a table in a pub was considered effeminate by male drinkers. This was from the 30s to 50s. Jesus. C122, H122. How can trolleys be racist? The male finds a way. Ban poetry, says use of weapons. Agreed. Okay, the straight to the point letters. Jay Simpson of Jockey End writes, the Metropolitan Police advises women to flag down a bus if they feel for their safety. Where I live, we have one bus out of the village and one back, both in the middle of the day. Chris Pate says, heavens to Betsy, an outage of Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram. I hope counselling will be offered to those who have been affected. Celia Dowell says, having watched the latest episode of Casualty, I think it's the BBC scriptwriters who need medical treatment. Ralph Doncaster says, Priti Patel to be tough on attackers of women? Is this the same Home Secretary who's tough on illegal migrants? Wendy Dole says, Dame Helen Mirren made my Monday morning in her trouser suit and gothic eyes. How I laughed, bless her. J.M. Callister of Harrogate says, a request under the Freedom of Information Act means you don't have to give out the information. They have to give out the information unless they don't want to. Terry Coates says, perhaps the Mail could put on its front page, vaccine shortage, only 2 days supply left. Might chivvy up a few. What a surreal moment. Graham Andrews says, what a surreal moment. I switched on TV and there was no sign of Bradley Walsh. Dick Pendrin says, having watched the latest episode of Britain's Hardest Vets at War, I think it's the BBC scriptwriters who need to be killed and eaten. Oh God, the casualty one is just turf shit, isn't it? Yeah, that's how FOIA works, yeah. That was an especially terrible poem. Men stand at the bar, women sit, just the way it is. Dick Pendrin, no. Today's recipe is meatball black bean chili. I mean, it looks fine. They're trying to obviously sell you various cruises, electric boilers, other stuff like that. England's forgotten captain, fantastic. Carol Thomas was a pioneer of the women's game, but has struggled for recognition, writes Catherine Batt, the women's football correspondent. She captained England in 7 consecutive tournaments, and for 9 years, both records at a time. She got 56 caps as captain between 1976 and 1985. This was the moment of my redemption. They, yet again, are on about David Beckham's goal from 20 years ago in that 2-2 draw with Greece. Premier League clubs are worried about their England stars playing on Andorra's plastic pitch, leaving Gareth Southgate with a selections headache for Saturday. FIFA knew the risk in 1984 of heading, but did nothing. Why did they do nothing? Money, probably. Who likes cruises? They're awful, old people. Must do better. Report card. Subject, diversity in English cricket. Grade, comment B-. Special report by Richard Gibson and Matt Hughes. Botham says the Ashes dropouts don't fancy the ultimate test. And on the back page, dementia shame. FIFA knew about football's brain damage link in 1984 when their own magazine highlighted heading dangers. Emma's back with the smile of a champion. They're talking about Emma Raducanu. And Root demands clarity from Cricket Australia. That is the Daily Mail for today. Give me your scores. I would say a set tuple negative nice. -69, -69, -69, -69. Right. Remember when pubs were hard? Yeah, it was shit, wasn't it? It was a shit paper today. One last reminder to check out the newsletter and a reminder to throw some coins in the paper fund if you feel enabled. Also consider subscribing here on Twitch. That's also an option. I'm just going to do a quick roll call and also share the Discord with you because Discord's a good place. Come hang out on the Discord with us. I am the Broken Bottle Boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Broken Bottle Boy. Also in the chat today, another TT viewer. Hello, good. Thank you very much. Big Old Boy was here. Hello, Big Old Boy. C122H122, happy birthday and thank you for contributing to the show today. Much appreciated. Commander Root was here. Crawfish was here. Dr. Fayad was here. Ehud Barak, F2 Payer, Heathmore2401, Morin Skell, Rachology, Red Tickseed, Rimastino, Salinkmai, the excellent Slinkermeyer, as ever. Do check out her photography on Instagram. Spike Trap Claire was here. The Research Arena, also fantastic. And appearing in a guest appearance imminently. Use of Weapons, thank you for joining us. V&K, always good to see you. And Xylane, thank you very much for being here on the Wednesday show. Cheers, Use of Weapons. See you tomorrow, hopefully. Thank you, Slinkermeyer, for your score for the mail, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 non-tuple negative nice. If you're watching on this YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. I will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. here on Twitch, so do join me then. And on Friday, we have a magazine special, so look forward to that. The magazine special on Friday is the first issue of UK Rolling Stone. Right. Until tomorrow, bye-bye.